Americans gave $592.50 billion to charity in 2024. But that is not the number this video is really about. The real number is the one nobody sees after the donation is made. What the gift quietly costs you. Because generosity has two numbers. The loud number is printed on the receipt. It is the pledge, the check, the donor wall, the public thank you. The quiet number is harder to measure. It is the bill you delayed, the purchase you gave up, the family conversation you avoided, the control you lost, or the pressure that comes when people start seeing you as generous. Most people think giving gets easier when you have more money. But at every level, generosity asks for something different. First, it asks for guilt, then discipline, then sacrifice, then family agreement, then control, then visibility. This is not a ladder of better people. It is a ladder of hidden costs. And the first cost appears before you give a single dollar. Level 1, the guilt level. You are not refusing to care. You are out of margin. This is the first level of giving, and it is more common than people admit. You hear about a school fundraiser, a family in crisis, a food pantry running short, a disaster relief fund opening up after the news moves fast. You care, you pause, then you look at your own money and realize every dollar already has a job. Rent has a job, groceries have a job, insurance has a job, debt has a job. The emergency fund, if it exists at all, is still small enough to feel fragile. So your behavior changes. You skip the donation box, but you volunteer time. You share the fundraiser. You carry tables, sort supplies, show up early, stay late, or put your name on the sign-up sheet instead of writing a check. The fear underneath is sharp. Maybe this means you are selfish. That fear is the hidden cost of level 1. Guilt turns generosity into a character test. It makes your bank balance feel like evidence against your heart. But in a country where Americans gave $592.50 billion in 2024, it is still possible for one household to have no room for a cash gift. The national number can be massive while your personal margin is thin. Level 1 teaches something easy to forget. No margin is not the same as no compassion. But guilt is a poor accountant. Eventually, you stop asking whether you can give everything and start asking whether you can give something. Level 2, the intention level. You begin giving on purpose, not because someone caught you emotionally in the moment. This is the level where generosity becomes a recurring line item. Maybe it is 1% of income. Maybe it comes out to about $900 a year. It will not name a building. It may not even change the budget of the organization receiving it. But it changes you because it moves giving from impulse to rhythm. The behavior is simple. You set a recurring donation. You choose one cause instead of reacting to 10. You let the bank app send the money before your mood gets to vote. The fear is also simple. What if this is too small to matter? That fear is understandable because public generosity usually rewards scale. Big checks get photos. Major donors get calls. Gala programs have categories. But the quiet backbone of American giving is still individual giving. Individuals gave $392.45 billion in 2024, representing 66.7% of total charitable giving. That does not mean every small gift is world-changing by itself. It means small, repeated decisions are part of the larger current. The hidden cost here is cash flow discipline. $900 a year competes with subscriptions, dinners, kids' activities, small upgrades, and all the little comforts that rarely look dramatic by themselves. Intention sounds warm until it becomes scheduled. And that is the point. Giving becomes real when it survives the calendar. Once giving becomes a line item, it stops being only a feeling. It becomes a promise your calendar can test. Level 3, the sacrifice level. You now give enough that the gift changes a decision you were actually looking forward to. This is where the number begins to feel personal. Maybe it is 5%, maybe it is about $8,000 a year. At this level, giving is no longer symbolic. It changes a purchase, a trip, a renovation, a vehicle, a class, a cushion, or a comfort you had quietly imagined. The behavior is visible in what you postpone. You wait on the upgrade. You repair instead of replace. You keep the old thing longer than planned. Not because you cannot afford anything, but because generosity has started competing with desire. The fear becomes more complicated. What if giving is taking too much from your own life? That fear can make you overcorrect. The common mistake at this level is believing that the more painful gift is automatically the more moral gift. If it hurts, it must be pure. If it delays something you wanted, it must be noble. But pain alone is not wisdom. Giving USA reported that total charitable giving grew 6.3% in current dollars in 2024, and 3.3% after adjusting for inflation. The national story can say, generosity is rising. Your personal story may still include a real trade-off at the kitchen counter, in the driveway, or in the budget app. The hidden cost of level 3 is identity. You discover what kind of person you believe you are when values start costing convenience. This is also where the anti-FOMO matters. Level 3 can be a destination, not a waiting room. A person who gives 5% consistently, keeps the household stable, avoids private resentment, and knows exactly why the gift exists. Maybe practicing a healthier generosity than someone chasing the next level, just to feel morally upgraded. The healthiest gift is not always the largest gift. This is where the ladder becomes dangerous. If you mistake upward movement for moral improvement. Level 4, the family ledger level. You give enough that generosity is no longer only your private virtue. At this level, the gift may be around 10%. Maybe it is about $25,000 a year. The number is large enough to affect more than your personal sense of purpose. It enters the family ledger. The behavior changes before tax time. You begin talking about giving in advance. You discuss the annual amount, the cause, the timing, the deduction, the trade-off. A spouse, partner, or adult child may ask a calm question that lands harder than criticism. Are we doing that amount again this year? The fear is not that you are ungenerous. The fear is that the people closest to you may experience your generosity as competition. Competition with vacation, competition with college savings, competition with retirement confidence, competition with home repairs, competition with inheritance, competition with a lifestyle the family thought it was building together. The mistake is treating shared sacrifice as a solo decision. Individual giving was the largest source of US charitable giving in 2024. But the word individual can hide a household reality. A gift may be made in one person's name, yet the trade-off can be carried by multiple people. That is the hidden cost of level 4, family trust. The public gift may look clean. The private conversation may be complicated. Not ugly, not dramatic, just honest in the way family money is honest. When everyone knows the same dollar cannot do two jobs forever. The gift is public, the trade-off is private. The moment generosity touches the family ledger, the question changes from, can we afford this? To who gets to define enough? Level 5, the control level. You stop thinking only about donation and start thinking about design. This is the level where giving becomes planned through a donor-advised fund. Appreciated assets, estate conversations, or a more deliberate charitable vehicle. You are no longer only asking where to send money this month. You are asking how to give over time. The behavior changes again. You meet with a CPA or advisor. You ask about tax timing. You consider giving appreciated stock instead of cash. You separate the moment of contributing from the later moment of recommending grants. The fear beneath this level is practical and emotional. What if the money goes to the wrong place at the wrong time in the wrong way? The mistake is thinking design removes the emotional weight. It does not. It only makes the weight easier to see. The donor advised fund world shows how large this level has become. National Philanthropic Trust reported that grants from DAS totaled $54.77 billion in 2023. And according to the IRS, a donor advised fund is maintained by a 501c3 sponsoring organization. Once the donor contributes, the sponsoring organization has legal control, while the donor keeps advisory privileges. That sentence sounds technical until you feel what it means. You can advise, you can recommend, you can plan, but the money is no longer household cash in the old sense. The hidden cost is control. There is a moment in the advisor's office, pen on paper, when the number feels generous and final in a different way. The dashboard gets cleaner, but one comforting illusion disappears. Generosity does not belong entirely to you anymore. Level 6, the visibility level. You give at a level where people begin to notice. This level is not just about money, it is about identity. The gift may become a donor wall, a scholarship name, a gala mention, a boardroom discussion, a public pledge, or a naming opportunity. The act of giving starts to create a version of you in other people's minds. The behavior is no longer just choosing a cause. You now choose whether to accept recognition, decline it, soften it, or let your name stand in public. The fear is that generosity may become performance. The mistake is confusing public impact with moral clarity. A name on a wall can represent real help. It can fund real work. It can inspire more giving. It can also create pressure, expectation, reputation, and a strange distance between the clean public story and the messy private process that produced the gift. Foundation giving reached $109.81 billion in 2024, while corporate giving reached $44.40 billion. Those numbers belong to a more visible layer of philanthropy, where giving often comes with boards, reputations, public commitments, and scrutiny. At this level, the hidden cost is decision burden. Every yes creates invisible no's. Yes to the scholarship may mean no to the clinic. Yes to the arts program may mean no to the food pantry. Yes to the public campaign may mean no to quiet relief. That will never put your name anywhere. Visibility does not make generosity false. It makes it heavier. At the top of the ladder, the question is no longer whether you are generous. The question is whether you can carry the consequences of being seen as generous. Closing. So for the next 7 days, do not start by increasing the amount. Start by drawing the dashboard. Ask 5 questions. What can I give without creating private resentment? What cause would I support even if nobody knew? What form of generosity fits my current margin? Money, time, skill, attention, or access? Who shares the trade-off with me and deserves a voice? Is my giving designed or just emotionally triggered? These questions will not make generosity easy. They will make it honest. Because the first question was never only, how much should I give? That question is useful but incomplete. The better question is, what kind of generosity your life can honestly carry? Maybe that means money. Maybe it means time. Maybe it means expertise. Maybe it means a smaller gift made with a cleaner heart and a stronger household behind it. The donation receipt will always show the loud number. Your life will always carry the quiet one. Generosity needs a heart, but it also needs a dashboard.